Welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast with your host, Lorna Poole, sharing the secrets to creating wealth, investing, and that all-important money mindset. To find out more and accelerate your journey to financial freedom, head on over to www.lornapoole.com to get started. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Financial Freedom Podcast. Do you have a book? Are you thinking of writing a book? Well, my guest expert today is going to help you, or it's going to share with you the benefits of a book as a marketing tool. My guest expert is Suzanne Doyle-Ingram. She is a best-selling author who has written and co-written a total of 15 books. She coaches and trains business professionals on how to write and publish a book, and how to use that book as leverage to increase their visibility, open doors for speaking engagements, grow their brand and their business. Suzanne has also helped hundreds of business owners get published through collaborative anthology books by bringing together the collaborative effort of experts in various fields to contribute to one multi-author book. Suzanne, great to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me.
Book is a marketing tool. Does it help you or not?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It always depends on what you want your book to do for you, though. So, I only work with business people and entrepreneurs and coaches. So if someone's writing a romance novel, that's a little bit of a different thing. I guess you could still use it as a marketing tool. But for the customers that I have, the clients that I work with, it is the best marketing tool you could possibly have.
It gives you credibility.
Absolutely. It gives you credibility. And if somebody, I always start out with what you want your book to do for you. So let's say somebody wants to get more speaking engagements. If they're pitching themselves to a host of an event and the host is considering them and another person, and let's say they're pretty much equal, they have the same amount of experience, they have the same education or what have you, same number of years in the business, and one of them has a book and the other one doesn't have a book, they'll choose the one with the book because not only does it make them more credible, but it makes the host look good too. To be able to say, our guest today is best-selling author or even published author so-and-so. And it really works for credibility, for sure.
And, as someone who's an entrepreneur herself, entrepreneurs use book in different strategies. So, some people's books can be quite salesy. Some are just information. Some have exercises. What's your suggestion on that?
Oh, good. Thank you for asking that. I always say to people, don't make your book about you, which sounds kind of funny because everyone wants to tell their story. Yeah. But if you can consider the reader and always think about what's in it for the reader and what is it that you want your reader to feel? What is it that you want your reader to do? So even if you are telling your story, and let's say you have a story about overcoming adversity or something, as long as you can impart some knowledge that will help the reader either avoid that or get through that or that sort of thing, that's the best way to go about it in terms of having the reader receive the information in your book and think, oh, this person is the real deal and I want to work with him or her. So the book can be a self-help type of book or it can be a how-to type of book. If you're a business coach or someone along those lines, I would highly recommend you do kind of like, here's how you get this result type of book. They can be very easy to write. You can write it in less than a month. I've done so many programs where I help people write a book in 30 days. And it's basically, what is the transformation that occurs as a result of your clients working with you? Put that in a book. First, you do this. If this is your problem, you do this, this, and this, and then you don't have the problem anymore. It sounds so basic, but that's really as easy as it is.
And what about, sometimes a book can be somebody's marketing tool to their bigger program. So how much do you put into the book or leave out of the book? Or how much do you give away in the book? Or how do you structure that?
That's such a great question because people ask that all the time and they're really nervous. If I give everything away for free, no one will want to pay me. But the truth is that I say give as much as you can in your book. And what you mentioned earlier is really important about having people write in your book because it's kind of subconsciously a micro commitment to you. If you say to them, pick up your pen and write something down right here, and they do it, it's like, oh, wow, they're really investing in you, so you can include everything you want in there. Most people will only remember about 10% of it anyways. So it's not like they're going to take action. A lot of times they don't. If they do take action, let's say they receive the information in your book and they take action on it and they never hire you, but they do what you want them to do. You've still won, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You may not have received. I had someone just yesterday that emailed me this. I didn't even know who he was, and he told me because of free training that I've provided over the years, he wrote a book. It's on Amazon, and I'm happy when that happens. I'm happy because I know that not everyone's going to buy my programs, but at least I'm reaching people and helping them. So yeah, put as much as you can in that book, and then have a call to action in the book so that you can say, I'm giving you this information here, but what I'd love for you to do is download my video training or something like that, right? Or download the worksheets, send them to your website so they can opt in, and then you can follow up with them.
Love it. And I have a couple of questions.
Okay, go for it.
The first one is, do you give your book for free or are you selling it? And another one, and I'm just skipping, and maybe we should do this first.
Sure.
A lot of business owners, want to be best-selling author. And
yes.
I know this is possible if the right marketing starts off when the book first goes out. Is that correct? Or I know that can be targeted a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah. So about the bestseller, it has to go back to the beginning again. Why do you want to be a best-selling author? Does it really matter? Do you think your ideal client will think more of you? Does it matter? Nowadays, getting to be a bestseller on Amazon, if you have someone who knows what they're doing, they can launch it for you, make it a bestseller. Actually fairly simply, if they know what they're doing. So you have to choose the correct categories, you have to choose the correct keywords, and there's a lot. I mean, for me, it's easy because I've been doing it for 9 years, but for most people, it's not easy. And I'm a little bit transparent about stuff like that. I'm like, does it really matter? I don't know. It's kind of BS in some ways.
I follow an expert, and she's $1 million business, very good book, and it's not a bestseller.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in many cases.
Her followers buy it, and it does very well.
Yes, exactly. So getting back to, that person might give away a free copy of her book when someone joins her program. So yes, I believe in giving out free copies, but it has to be done strategically. So for example, my real estate clients, they always take their book on their listing presentations, and they don't, jump up and down and freak out about it. They basically do their normal presentation. At the very end, I teach them to say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I know you're really busy and you probably don't have a lot of time to read, but just for fun, I wanted to give you a copy of my book. And then you just stop talking. And then the people go, what? You have a book? Oh my gosh. They're so excited. And of course, you're not going to try to sell it to them for $20. You're going to give it to them. And you can also give a free copy of your book to all the clients you've ever worked with, saying something along the lines of, same thing, a humble brag. I know you don't have a lot of time to read because you're super busy, growing your business. But as you know, I grow my business by referral. And so I would love to give you a copy of my book. And if you know anyone that you think might be a good fit for me, please pass it on to them. And then you're not coming across as obnoxious. You're not coming across as, oh my gosh, this is the best book ever written and known to the world, and you have to read my book. Like when people are pushy like that, it's really obnoxious. So don't try to sell it everywhere you go as well. I mean, and the whole thing about people saying, like, could you do me a favor? Could you buy my book? Oh my gosh, I can't stand that. I'm always saying, don't do the pity buy, please. Yeah. You don't want people to buy your book because they feel sorry for you. That's not the way to position yourself in your marketplace.
And what about self-publish? Or
that's fine.
Through somebody.
Oh, self-publishing is amazing. It's so, if you don't have a big budget, I mean, so basically there's 3 ways to publish your book. On the one end of the spectrum, there's traditional publishing, which takes years and years and is really hard to get it accepted unless you have a massive following on social media because they want to know you're a sure thing. The other end of the spectrum, there's self-publishing. And then in between, there's companies that do hybrid publishing where you pay them a fee and they put your book on Amazon for you. And self-publishing, it used to be a dirty word and it's not anymore. It's a great way to get your book on Amazon. However, you have to find a professional editor so that you're making sure that you're positioning yourself as a professional. And also, you need someone who does proper interior formatting, like the typesetting and the cover design and everything. Because I think self-publishing, it just looks really bad when it's really amateur. But if you do it professionally, of course, it looks fantastic. And I always say to people, if of the most recent 10 books that you've read, name the publishers right now without looking at them. And the readers never know who the publisher is. It doesn't matter. People will go, oh, well, what if people know I'm self-published? First of all, they're not going to know, probably because they don't know how to look that up. And second of all, who cares? If your information is good and solid and is professionally edited, they're not going to care who the publisher is.
And do you help your clients as well? Sometimes a better business strategy is having more than one book, or having a sort of build on your first book.
Yes, of course. You could write a series. But sometimes I do, like, people,
or just really have your one, this is the go-to book.
Yes. Well, people don't really need more than one book. And I generally think that what happens is people get so carried away and excited, and they have so many ideas that come to them that they never even write a book, because they think, I have 100 books in me. So what I tell them is, let's start from the very beginning and think about what you want your book to do for you. Think about why you're writing a book, and think about who you're writing it for. And once you can get really clear on that, it does become clear on what I call your first book is going to be. And sometimes, you're just one book away from growing your business massively. And so you don't necessarily have to write book after book after book. If your first book is solid and it's doing what you want it to do. But again, it comes down to planning it from the very beginning. I have people that come to me all the time that are like, oh, I finished my book. It took me 5 years. And then I look at it and I'm like, how would you feel about starting again? Can we start from the basics and start from the beginning? It's really, really important to have a really solid outline. And again, like, reverse engineer it. Know what you want the book to do for you, and then plan out the writing of your book so that it will meet those goals.
Yeah, so you plan your book before you write it, like you plan your chapters and your...
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Because otherwise you would just go off on a tangent. I guess.
Absolutely. And your poor reader is being strung along. When you think about the reader journey, right? Think about, it's almost like if you own a store. I used to do sales training for Starbucks many, many, many years ago. And so I learned a lot about sales and customers from Starbucks, believe it or not. Imagine when the person shows up at the store, the way that they make you walk through that store to order your Starbucks coffee is similar to how you're going to bring your reader through your book. You're going to show them things along the way. You're basically holding your hand with your reader and you're showing them along the way. And when you think about your reader as someone who's giving up their precious time to read your book, you can't think your book is about you. It's not about you. It's about your reader and what you're sharing with them.
And what about your book as a leveraging tool?
Oh, absolutely. So again, depending on what you want. So let's say you want to do more speaking. In your book, you can mention very subtly let's say you're trying to make a point about increasing revenue or something. Let's say you're a business coach and you're teaching people in your book how to increase revenue. And you want to say something like, it has to be honest, of course, but something like, recently when I was speaking at an event in Chicago, one of the audience members had the following question. Then you say the question, and then you say what you want to say about that. You're basically subtly saying, I spoke at a conference in Chicago, and you sprinkle these things throughout your book. What is it that you want? Put that in your book. And then when you go to pitch event organizers, you are leveraging that book to get paid to speak at places in exchange for this $10 book. People all the time say, oh, I don't want to give away my book for free. I'm like, really? You're not going to want to spend $10 to get a lead that can make you $5,000 or $10,000? And that's what I mean by leveraging. When people are angst ridden about how do I sell more books, I say to them, okay, do you want to work 20 hours a week to make an extra $70 selling books? Or do you want to get one new customer that's worth $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 to you? When you switch your mindset, from the old-fashioned philosophy of like, oh, I'm going to write a book and then 1 million people are going to buy it. I'm going to be rich. It doesn't work that way. Most business books only sell 200 copies on average. So let's use your book to get you more sales. So just sell you instead of selling books.
Yeah, sell you. So do you work with people around the whole model of this is how this book's going to help you? Because some experts help you write the book and then that's it.
Yeah.
With the sales process.
Yes, I do. And I always say to them, what comes after the book is the juicy part. And I spend a lot of my time helping people understand that the book is just a bunch of pieces of paper glued together, and don't be so emotionally attached to it. It's just a thing. It's like you have a website, you have a banner, you have business cards. Maybe young people nowadays don't have business cards, but you have a computer, you have a desk. These are all things you need in your business. And a book is one of them too. I strongly believe you need a book in your business. And also the beautiful thing about self-publishing is that you can change it anytime. You can change it 6 months from now, add another chapter, take something out. It's up, and then you upload it to Amazon again, and it's live within 24 hours with the new changes. So yeah, the book is really a great way of leveraging and reaching people, and it's just fantastic. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about it.
And what about using books as referrals?
Yes. Do you mean giving it to current clients and saying, I'd like to give you a copy of my book so you can pass it on to other people?
Yeah, or helping like so you can leverage your book. It can help you with speaking engagements, and it can help you. I suppose it can help you if somebody reads your book and they like it. They might look into your program.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, and that's why I highly recommend having a call to action. So say, for example, you have an online program. Then you could, in the book, you could mention one of my clients in my online program, blah, blah, blah. Another client in my online program, blah, blah, blah. You planted the seed. They're like, oh, she has an online program. And then you could have something like, I have a free mini course. Get them in that free mini course. It might be like 5 short videos or something. And then they're on your email list. And then you basically constantly saying, why don't you join my program? Not necessarily that aggressively, depends on how you like to sell, but or have them join your Facebook group. Like, definitely have a call to action in your book so that you can follow up with them. And whether it's speaking or your online program or one-on-one coaching. And I say to people, even if you don't have an online program right now and you're a coach, just get them to book a strategy call with you. Then you can just get them on the phone. And it's so easy to set that up. You could set it up in 5 minutes. It's just using Calendly, or the one I use is called youcanbook.me. And that's like so simple to set up. And you can change it anytime.
Yeah, I use Schedule One and I love it.
Yeah.
It's such a great calendar.
I know, isn't it great?
Automated. Okay, call to action, transformation. How do you create a book that's, I've read lots of books over my time, and some I look at the first few pages and I'm like, nah. How do you create a book that's going to grab somebody and they're going to feel it was worth the read?
Okay. That all starts out with preparing to write at the beginning, before you write your book. You have to really know who you're writing this book for, and literally be thinking about your reader all the time, so that when you're using their language, you're solving their problem. You know them so well. You know what keeps them up at night. Because you have, probably you have your own clients that you've helped. And so when you use their language and you make the book about them, almost everyone that reads your book, if they're your ideal client, they look at it and go, oh my gosh, she's reading my mind. This is unbelievable. And they will love you. If they're not your people, then that's great, because they turn away and they're like, no, I don't know what she's talking about. I'm a roofer. I don't know anything about this, or something, like a completely wrong target market.
Yeah,
it's basic marketing principles.
Yeah. It's the same advice you get when you're starting your business. Who's your ideal client?
Yeah.
Can you? Yeah. Makes so much sense. Okay.
Yeah.
And how on this podcast we talk a lot about financial freedom and getting your money working for you. So how can the overall, the book, the business, the sales funnel, how can this bring your business to the next level?
Well, oh my gosh. First of all, you just get so much credibility as a published author. And being able to just, like I'm doing right now, get on podcasts, get out there speaking. People say to me, oh my gosh, Suzanne, you're everywhere. I'm like, well, I'm actually sitting at home right now doing this podcast. I'm not really everywhere, but, leveraging your book to get you more exposure will bring in more income. And especially if you're helping people. You're doing Facebook Lives and everything that you can do to help people is just absolutely amazing. And one other thing that I haven't mentioned that I would like to say right now is that a lot of times people think it's cheaper to just offer the PDF of their book. And of course it is, but people don't value that as much. And so
no, you don't. No.
I would really either do a free plus shipping offer where the person pays for their shipping and then it cost you that much to print a copy and ship it out. Or have them apply for a strategy call with you. And then if they feel like they're a good fit, then on the call, you can say, you know what, I'm going to send you a copy of my book. And that makes them feel so special. There's something called the law of reciprocity where they will feel like, wow, I can't believe, she's done this for me. What can I do for her? They might recommend you to people. I mean, it's just a win-win all around.
It's funny.
Oh, and the other thing is, let me just say one more quick thing. Be very, very careful who you publish your book with. Do your research. Don't just go with the first company, because I see a lot of companies out there that charge so much money. I mean,
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to ask that question, because I am aware that some authors don't always get, I don't know, if it's sold on Amazon for $16, they're getting like quarter of that.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing your research on the publisher's charges, is it?
Yeah, I would, and talk to their previous clients to see if they're happy. I mean, I have had quite a few people coming to me lately that had very bad experiences elsewhere, and they've spent like so much money, like many, 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 many thousands of dollars to get their book, and they didn't really get what they wanted. They weren't treated very well, and it's really heartbreaking. And I work with people that have small to medium to large budgets, and we can work with our budget. But the thing that I want to say is that if you don't have a large budget, you can do this yourself. You can find anything on YouTube. You can do it. You could probably get your book on Amazon for under $500 if you were able to just do it yourself. So don't feel like you need to spend like $30,000 to publish your book, because that's outrageous and it's not necessary. And
make sure you own your book. Isn't that right too?
Yes. Make sure that you own 100% rights to your book. I got to tell you, one of my dearest clients recently passed away unexpectedly, and I still am grieving, and it was very, very, very heartbreaking. But I was able to say to her family, to find them and say to them, look, her book was almost done. Like we're publishing it for her, but I was able to make them feel okay knowing you guys own the rights. Like I'm one of the good guys. Like here's the contract, here's everything, and it made me feel so good that she chose me instead of somebody else, because maybe her book never would have been published if she'd gone somewhere else. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying that. Like that's one of the things that I do is I let people own the rights to their book.
No, Suzanne, you can tell from our conversation that your words are genuine and you walk your talk, because otherwise you wouldn't even put that out there. And thank you for that, because I think when you go to write a book, people need a guide.
Yes.
Someone they can go to and ask these sort of questions, as like or they're not aware that they can get caught out with rights and things like that. But we've had an amazing conversation, Suzanne. For anyone listening today, what's that kind of one thing you want to leave them with? That kind of aha.
Oh, okay. I would love to say this today. This is just come right into my heart. That for anyone who's thinking about writing a book, just know that everything that you need is already inside of you.
Love that.
Because you could be an absolute gift to the world. There could be somebody waiting for you right now. You never know. And we all have that gift inside of us. And so don't wait. Start thinking about what it is that you want to share with the world. And think about like what people come to you for help with. And that's your gift.
What people come to you for help about. That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Suzanne, how do we find out more about you?
Well, luckily, I'm the only Suzanne Doyle-Ingram that I know of in the world, so I'm easy to find. I'm all over Facebook. I do lots of training on Facebook, so if you want to connect with me on Facebook, my business page is Suzanne Doyle-Ingram Biz, and my website is prominencepublishing.com, and I've got free training on there. So just connect with me, and I would love to let me know that you heard me on Lorna's podcast, and then I'll friend you.
And I love here as well, Suzanne has a free gift, and it's that training for the 30 days. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I have a free recording of a webinar. And I don't say like, oh, it's happening on Tuesday at 10, which is a lie because it's actually pre-recorded. So you can get it right away. And it's at prominencepublishing.com/free. And you can sign up for the training. And it's about 45 minutes long, and it'll take you step by step through how to write a book.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for being here. I've got a lot from this personally.
Good.
This has been fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about what I love.
Hey, everyone. Remember to join us in the Private Financial Freedom Podcast Facebook group with me, your host, Lorna Poole. This is a safe haven of like-minded, wealth-getting go-getters who, like you, are on their journey to creating financial freedom in their life. This is where you and I can get intimate. I can give you the support and guidance to go from where you are now to where you want to be, developing your wealth mindset and creating your financial freedom life. Join at www.facebook.com/groups The Financial Freedom Podcast. You will see the links to this on the website. It's in the show notes, or type it into the Facebook group. All you have to type in is Financial Freedom Podcast, and you will see us there. Look forward to seeing you in the group. Take care. Thank you for joining us on the Financial Freedom Podcast, to creating wealth, investing, and developing your money mindset. To get started today on your journey, head on over to www.lornapoole.com and grab your free course, 5 Steps to Breaking Free from Your Poverty Mindset and Accelerating Your Journey to Financial Freedom. See you there.